Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing another match analysis from a donor perk, and we're going to be looking at a Great Lakes Regional Championship match between Ball State and Michigan. I believe this was the quarterfinals. They also met up in the finals. Maybe we'll do that one at a later date, but this is just the quarterfinals. So we're going to be looking into these teams and what exactly we can learn about them. Two of the top teams in the Great Lakes, obviously, as they matched up in the college final in November. Once again, everybody, thank you so much for watching. I know the videos are getting a little bit less frequent as kind of things are getting back into the real world, trying to figure everything out. But I'm hoping to keep doing the content, even if it's down to, a couple times a week. We've got a really exciting piece coming out later this week, so definitely stay tuned for that. And we'll see how we can proceed with the channel going forward. In the meantime, if you could like and subscribe, that way you don't miss it when we are putting out the content, it would mean a lot. Anyway, thank you everybody so much for watching, and let's get into it. Alright, so today we're going to be looking at a match from Great Lakes Regionals back in this past November. It's an early morning Sunday match between Michigan and Ball State. Obviously two of the strongest teams in that region, and I think they were the eventual finalists that played off. This is not the finals of the quarterfinals, but the way a lot of the regionals work this year, you could bounce back up after a loss, which is what Michigan did to win this thing after Ball State beats them in this game. Out of range too, so two very different games. So we're going to take a look at maybe what Michigan wasn't doing as well in this game. Early morning games, I think, are always a tough test. It's always an upset-heavy time slot, so that obviously is going to play a factor. But also just to see what these teams have to offer, so let's get into it. All right, Broom's up one by Ball State, but Michigan's able to keep bludger control. No issues with anything that happened here, so not covered up well by Michigan. They don't really get to their man assignments, which leaves this lane wide open, and I'm always pro ripping the shot. I'd say that possibly he didn't use his eyes enough to keep the keeper, because the keeper started over here and was able to move across to make that block. So that would be my really only critique. Michigan looking to run makes sense because I think the bludgers are out of position. I didn't really like them slowing down here because as you see, as he's coming into the lane here, this is a beater picking up his ball in the wing. I think that's the only bludger that Ball State has. I think he has a lot of time to run there, but he's going to set up the offense instead. Oh no, sorry, they didn't have bludger control. Okay, so that makes a lot more sense. I'd like to see him a little closer to this beater. It looks like he's got this Ball State beater committed to an exchange, but why does he have him committed to an exchange, right? Because I mean, he's not worried about this shooter or this passer because he's so far away from everything. He needs to come up a lot closer to this beater. Yeah, there's no reason to take that beat and lose bludger control. Oh, he doesn't even lose bludger control, so. I would like to see a beater press here because let's see what happens. He's the only one with the ball. He knows his teammate's getting the ball. Just go out and press. What are you scared of? You can't sit this deep in your zone all the time. They don't even have to use a reset. This is really good. What we talked about in that cavalry play, they keep it just inside the zone. They don't even use the reset. So that's just bad by Ball State, not getting enough out of what was really a one exchange. A lot of tap beats on point. Ball State finally forces an exchange. And Michigan just really patient because Ball State never made them not be patient. Good ball movement for the goal. Let's see. Puts the keeper in a tough situation here, right? I think this keeper, though, so when I say a tough situation, what I mean is has to be serious about taking a shot here or a pass. I don't think there's really a threat of a shot here. I think this keeper really needs to be getting over to cover this pass. Though it looks like a cutter might be... Yeah, they had cutters cropping down on both hoops, so how is that possible? I'm trying to find that out of the defender. Yeah, just kind of slow getting back there. And once you have cutters to both hoops, I mean, there's nothing the keeper can do. Ball State makes a play for bludger control. They fail. Bludger's just kind of everywhere. Again, this is a really slow pass from Michigan, right? Let's see. So at this point, the only bludger in the play is Michigan's at 141. And he's here, and he's here, and he's here. And he's here. And when does he start his press? Starts pressing, gets to an actual press by 149. So 8 seconds into the play. Like, he could have been running them around the zone at that point. Could have easily forced turnover. At minimum, there's zero reason he shouldn't have gotten a reset off of this play. It was just a little slow, and you can't really quote tiredness or anything first game of the day, 2 minutes into the game. See, now he gets the reset, but I mean, could have been much more efficient, possibly could have gotten the turnover, could have caused a lot more problems. I like that aggression better. I wouldn't mind a throw. Alright, so let's see what happens here. So I don't like how deep this beater's being forced. You can't let a player get in the lane this deep. It looks like they have a cutter coming in off the wing. I don't even know where that cutter comes from. I guess from behind. I thought it was the one off the wing. Just cheating in here. Yeah. It seems like this keeper has a good concept of the tendencies of this ball handler to always go to this side because he's been sitting on that hoop effectively so far. And it's a no bludger situation. Good tackling. Kind of a sloppy play all around. Oh, I guess we're going to get a... They're handling the stoppages for us. That's nice of them. Okay, fast break. Rips the shot. I don't love doing that against bludger control. Like, if you're going to get a really good shot, sure. But, I mean, that was a crossbody shot to the low hoop, which is probably your lowest percentage shot. When you don't have bludger control, so you couldn't use a half-court offense there to try to get bludger control back. And clearly you're having trouble playing defense without bludger control because you're letting your beater get pushed really far in. So this beater's overexposed, right? Like, they're trying to stop this tap beat, but you just have to switch off the tap beat. He comes so far out that these two beaters can basically take him out of the play with no risk because his teammate is, you know, barely on screen. And now this beater's not going to have a defender so they can attack there. I guess they're not going to beat him out. There they beat him out. Yep. Clean enough play. So what happened is, let's see, when they go to beat him out, what goes wrong? She just goes low and he makes a good play. He probably shouldn't have been allowed to get away with that throwback. After that, it was kind of forced into 2 bludgers, I would say. Also, it says it's 10-0. I don't know if that fast break shot did go through, even though I thought the ref said no good, or if we missed something when the film skipped. But yeah. So this is too deep from the keeper here. So Michigan presses their bludger control, which is good. Draws out the beat. But once it's no bludger and the whole team's collapsing on you, you got to look for a passing option. I mean, this is a really easy drive and dish if you know what you're doing to get a goal. Once he puts his body into the whole team, I mean, this is never going to be a goal. She was just such an easy dish there. Also, one of his passing options was off screen when he was driving, which was also pretty not great. So bludger control still with Michigan. Again, these Michigan beaters sitting so deep. They get a bad throw there, and then a good catch from Ball State. So what happens? Let's see what happens in this beater exchange, right? So first thing that happens is Ball State throws, and it's not efficient. Now, for some reason, this player turns and absolutely launches one off of her, which is a mistake to begin with because his ball goes anywhere. Then his teammate makes a throw he doesn't need to make on this unarmed beater, right? Because this unarmed beater is not threatening anybody, so he throws at him. So basically just two completely unnecessary throws from Michigan after they had already forced the missed beat. Because, look, Ball State's beaters can't do anything, right? So he's going to make this throw. At this moment, Ball State's beaters cannot do anything. They have no balls and they have no contact points. And then both Michigan players are going to make completely inadvised throws to basically give up a goal. First throw is that one, which made literally no sense. And this one, which is at least like a reasonable throw in terms of like target and accuracy and power, but still unnecessary, and a nice catch, and now it's no bludgers. So again, this is a no bludger situation. That's better. I mean, still, I don't see why these players need to keep taking these hits before they pass the ball. Like, he just ran right into this tackle and goes down. And he's lucky that 2 comes over for help and leaves 21 open enough for this little dish off. Because, I mean, that should be end of play every time when the ball's on the ground like that. So let's see how he gets the ball out. So he makes this tackle. And 2 just needs to get, I think he goes for ball. He just needs to get a hand on his, like a wrist grab, anything to keep that hand from moving anymore. It's probably a turnover. And this time, finally, they actually find the cutting play to the hoops, which they missed on the last play. So there's stoppage there. And they give Ball State bludger control off of it, so that's interesting. I wonder what the call was. This is good enough from Ball State. I didn't really love this beater play, right? If you're getting the beater committed that deep, you don't have to throw at him. But in this case, she does, and at least creates enough time for him to get in the lane. Like, I don't hate it, but probably could have been timed a little bit better. I think she's going to like keep bludger control anyway, which is good. I wouldn't mind him just making this play for bludger control here and hoping his team can count on for a tackle, but I don't think his team's really tackled Ball State so far in this game. So, I mean, that's just a wild shot that he makes. I believe that's Max Jolly, and that's why he's one of the better chasers in college Quidditch. So if I'm Ball State here, knowing the kind of flow of this game, I'm fine sitting on this bludger control. And if, people get in the lane and rip shots, hey, people get in the lane and rip shots. There, they do take an exchange. They do load his bludger control for it. This beater, and he doesn't have a Ball State jersey on, so maybe he's newish, doesn't seem to have a throwback in his arsenal. So every exchange, Michigan just wins by taking it because he throws and then they can clean up a lot of the time, like on this one. That's good ball movement. Michigan is again just eating a tackle every single time they try to do anything against this Ball State team. But now they can reset with bludger control, which is great. They're using their beaters to really push in the chasers. That is not a pass you want to make into the lane. Let's just go over this really fast. So if you're coming in the lane here and you have a teammate cutting, this is a hospital pass, right? If you zip it to her, maybe she catches and releases. But if you throw it with that much arc, which again is because they took the tackle before they threw the ball, which has been a running theme here, there's no way this keeper's ever not getting to her. And I mean, luckily, defensive receiver keeps her from getting run over here, but I mean, that is just not a pass you want to be making your teammate. It works out because he's able to clean it up, but then they just throw it away anyway. Michigan, unless their beaters can literally clear every step of the way from them to score, doesn't seem to have good ideas of how to score because they just keep running into these Ball State tackles. This is fine, just kind of a very cavalry ball type play. Take the reset when you have to. Nice. They haven't even crossed mid again, which is good. What happened to the Ball State? Okay, I need to see what happened to this Ball State bludger and how it completely fell off the face of the earth. She's got a ball here. She's got a teammate behind. She throws. Guess you just missed. I don't know. That's why sometimes it's nice to have your beater teammate behind the play so that if you miss, it gets cleaned up more quickly. Because it has been a long time since Ball State last had a bludger. But a great job by their offense of not turning the ball over. And then after all that, somehow their beaters force a no bludger because she's only just in the play now. He must beat that player. Yep. They overcommit for bludger control. They get beat out, and Jolly drives in and scores. That is all on the Quaffle players for managing to not turn the ball over there. Like, that's really just an incredible play, all things considered. Really nice ball movement by Ball State. It wasn't just one person running back. Everybody ran back with him. They spread out the field. They let him pass wherever he needed to. Everything you could ask for. So Michigan does get bludger control at the end of that play. There's the drop back we've been looking for all game from either team, from the Ball State beater there. Michigan's allowed to drive in. Okay, so is that a beater? Yeah. So he tries to make a play for bludger control. That's how he ends up out of the play. And every time that there's no beater there to pester them, they just create space for their chasers. And that was kind of Michigan's strategy, I feel like, this entire tournament. They had these super athletic beater sets, and they would just try to get bludger control, and then they'd try to create offense exclusively through that because their offense itself, obviously, did not spend a lot of time creating. It was a lot of drives. I guess the stoppage we're not getting help with, so there we go. Ball State did come out of that play, it looks like, with control. This is weird timing again. Like, look at the difference in space between these two players when she makes this tap beat. Like, he's not ready to run when she makes that tap beat. And that gives plenty of time for a defender to step up, and he has to throw it away. Yeah. I mean, Jolly is the best player on this pitch by a mile, and it's so obvious because every time he gets an opening, he's scoring on Michigan right now. So I'd love to see the beater pair sitting back deeper now. And not taking any risk of bludger control. Yep, she's going to lose control there. She overturns her body here, I think. Like, she doesn't really need to trail this pass out onto a wing. Like, it's not going to be an immediate scoring opportunity. And once she takes her eyes off the bludger is when she can't dodge this beat anymore. And nice finish there. This is a really bad overcommit. Yeah, just not great defending to create the wide open drive and a good goal. They do have a no bludger, though, going the other way. I think Jolly's finally off the field, and it kind of showed there, right? Because they failed to score off of that no budger. So now they're going to have to set it up. Again, kind of that lack of sync, right? The beaters are clearing away. He's not really going right behind them. Nobody's really moving. Like, where are his passing options on this play? Like, why can I literally not see them? There's a player back here. This player is doing nothing for this offensive possession. There's a player back here who should be cutting in some way, shape, or form. I assume there's a player out on the wing who should also be cutting. Like, nobody is within... Yeah, she must be covering that other player. Nobody's within, like, 20 feet of this hoops. Make a cut. Like, somebody make a cut. Everyone's just waiting. And that's the kind of offensive possession you get when everyone's just waiting for things to happen. This is really bad awareness by Michigan. You have to turn the ball over. Like, I don't even know. So, okay, where are the bludgers in this play? So Michigan has a bludger here, beats this point defender. I assume he's going to make a play for control here. Yeah, he gets beat. This player, first of all, should be pressing. I don't know why he just ran back to his hoops. I mean, I guess because there are passing options, he shouldn't be able to make this pass. Like, nobody seems to be responding to what happened with the bludgers here, which is that there's one bludger off screen, there's one bludger that Ball State has, and there's one bludger that Ball State's picking up. The ball carrier doesn't realize it, none of the defenders realize it. So, like, Ball State's going to end up with the turnover, but, I mean, it's just bad awareness all over the pitch. Yeah, they immediately get Jolly back on the field, and that makes sense because he's the only thing that's been dynamic offensively for them. I would love to see, so he just beat the player covering Jolly. Jolly should be cutting and getting hit with a pass here, and then he's going to be in the lane, and it's going to be a goal every time. He's slow to react to this cut, and the keeper also just never sees it. Like, that was a much, much harder play. Because on that play, he ended up having to run through this very big defender, and once he got to him, had to throw off balance and try to squeeze it in there. If he had hit Jolly right here on the run, this defender, the one who steps out to him, would still have been running back to hoops. He would have been in the lane. It would have been a lot easier. Either way, this game has Stitch Range game written all over it because nobody's been able to dominate any facet of the game hard enough for it not to be. This is better offense, attacking from different angles, but their beaters just get blown up again, so it doesn't matter. That was a much better press. I even like doing that extra beat there in case something else was going wrong. They get the reset. About all you could ask for from the beaters. Finally getting aggressive after winning exchange. That's what we've been waiting for. Yeah, see, it seems like there's no real ideas here on like what we're prioritizing on the field, like bludger control or the quaffle. So this exchange happens, right? And he chooses to make this beat to stop her from getting bludger control. And I mean, I guess Ball State's been tackling really well, so it's not a crazy idea. 17 gets kind of caught out of position here. Just never gets square to the ball carrier. Like, you can't let the ball carrier have the lane there. Yeah, I don't hate making the play for bludger control. You just need to count on your chasers to bail you out with one tackle. Ugh. And again, players running into contact and not looking for their passing options. We've talked about this a lot on fast breaks. You should never think you're running all the way through yourself and scoring. They lose momentum here. And I think, unfortunately, his teammate even gets beat. Yeah, just by a throwback. I don't like that tackle. I don't think it's achieving much. I guess in this case, they actually get an overcommitted beater, so it's going to work out really nicely for Ball State. So let's see what happens here. So he goes for a tackle, and the reason I say I don't like this tackle generally is because it's just going to get tap beat, and your best defender is going to out of position. The key that happens here is that this beater recognizes that their only beater is going to make that tap beat and uses that opportunity to blow up the play. Gets him out of position, gets a throwback, which is a weird decision from this beater, but I guess he just got spooked, and then gets the beat. And then a miss at the end of it. And yeah, so I mean, the reason I was getting critical of that play in the beginning is because teams don't exploit that beater taking care of that point defender. There, Ball State actually exploited it, so I definitely respect the play more because of that. Even so, though, the risk-reward formula was still probably even slightly off. Again, and this is what I like. I've talked about this a lot. I think you see when Max and Lou are playing together, they'll do it. It's like, if you feel like you're the best beater on the field, you need to start showing that with your positioning and the way you're playing. He's really far from the hoops here. He's protecting his point defender. He's saying, I'm going to win these exchanges, and because of that, I want to be in a position where the other team's forced to take them. That time he doesn't win it. But point stands. By doing that, you're going to get some plays like the last one, even if you're also going to lose bludger control sometimes like this one. Hey, that's better offense from Michigan. I'm trying to figure out why that player was open. Who's covering who? Okay, so we've got coverage. Ball State playing down a player? No. So she's just kind of floating. I think that's supposed to be her mark there on that play. That was probably a little... So what were his options here? So the press comes. I think he's just supposed to run back into his keeper zone at this point. That floated pass was very, very hopeful. Michigan loses bludger control there. And Ball State's in the right position to clean up. And now they're going to run with their beater. And good defense to force the turnover. But you can see Ball State's style has changed since, I believe it's Kaufman who's their beater, came in and playing more aggressive and trying to force things and kind of forcing the Michigan beaters into bad spots in the process. So now we should getting close to snitch on pitch, I believe, so we need to be prioritizing bludger control some. We'll see if Kaufman changes up his play at all because of that. Michigan takes a reset without even beater pressure. Why'd they do this? Yeah, nobody's coming at him there. He needs to not take that reset without any bludgers. If only a chaser's running at you, you do not take that reset. Find someone to pass to if you're not confident they won't tackle you. I like that from Ball State, just the throwback, conserving bludger control. That's what we're prioritizing here with Snitch coming on pitch soon. And that was just kind of a special beat by Ball State. If you have it in your arsenal, hey, I mean, by all means. Going to take Kaufman off the field here. Oh, and at the same time, so this is bad. This is, okay. I always talk about roster management. So the ball was taken back here. If you want to make this sub, someone on your team needs to know this sub's being made. It should be being made immediately. It's 2:44 on my timer right now. Let's see at what point they actually call him for a sub. All right, he's called for a sub 8 seconds into the play. I mean, this is just like, it seems like the smallest thing in the world, right? Like, oh no, he subbed when he was near half court instead of before the play. But that thing is going to cause the Michigan beaters to... He sees this, he attacks, she has no support, he's able to get bludger control off of her. And force a Quaffle turnover. I mean, those 8 seconds literally just changed the entire game. And that's why it's so important to have somebody who's really on top of your subs on your bench. Michigan can't really put anything together on offense there. And now, once again, we're under a mantle snitch on pitch. So if I'm Michigan, I'm basically like turtling my bludgers in my zone. I am not risking giving up bludger control at all. Because it is not going to be worth it in a game that's definitely getting decided by a snitch grab at this point. They look like they are turtled pretty deep. And Ball State's smartly using that to waste time. Oh, man. Ball State still loses bludger control off of this. So these players just don't seem to have enough of a throwback in their arsenal. I mean, she does a really good job, I think, tangling him up and making this hard. But his teammates also just not like... She has no responsibilities on this weak side, right? The ball's over here. The bludgers are over here. She's in no position to attack what these Ball State beaters are doing to her partner. They're basically two different players on two different islands. And it's going to cost them bludger control. At minimum, it's probably going to cost them a goal. I don't know if they did end up... Because she did finally react to that, so I think she did go get a bludger. So yeah, she was able to get it, but they do give up the goal because of it. Either way, that could have been cleaned up a lot more efficiently in a way that they could have still stopped the drive. And now we're at cinch on pitch. Which I assume is just going to be a lot of bludgerless drives until the player's caught. Yeah, so I'm probably just going to stop it here. So what did we learn here? I think both teams were a little bit limited in the dynamics of their offense, right? It was a lot of driving, some shooting, an occasional dish, and then or dunks. For Michigan, that basically required there being no bludgers in the play, or at least having a bludger advantage, which is tough because they also didn't seem to have great ideas of how to get bludger control back. For Ball State, it basically involved having Max Jolly on the field and no other real options, and I think that maybe could spell out what happened in the finals, which I did watch before, but it's been a really long time. Just if they shut down Jolly, I don't think Ball State would have been able to score many points. And then also, when Kaufman was on the field beater, it also seemed like Michigan had a pretty big bludger advantage, but Kaufman was able to do a really good job out there for a while. But yeah, I mean, if these teams were looking to improve, I feel like offensively both teams could be running something a little bit more dynamic, looking for driving dishes, looking for moving the ball around the wings. We even talked about one point where there was a tap beat on the wing or off-ball chaser where they could have zipped it over them and actually create a good offensive opportunity. That was Ball State, and they missed out on that. Beyond that, I think the beaters just kind of working on their communication, a little bit more working together, exactly how they want to go about both defending bludger control and looking to get bludger control. There never seemed to be that firm of a plan on either side. Both teams could use a few more throwbacks, I think, in their beater repertoires as well. Well, that's going to do it for this one. Thanks everybody so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you soon.